I did that, and then one day Chris Lighty called and was like, "Hey, why don't you do an album cover?"
Chris
And
Lighty.
it became Violator.
Okay.
And then Phil Mob called after that, and then I did Rooted to the Tutor, and then that was kind of it on the album cover joint.
On the album covers.
But I got 2 good ones. Yeah.
I mean, to get hit up by the legend Chris Lighty, that's powerful. We got to talk about, you have a piece of artwork that's in the place. We talk about the myth, the man, the legend. I'm talking about Prince.
So while you're young, do whatever it is that in your heart, you say you want to do.
Gotcha.
I mean, even here, you got an athlete that led a camp, but he also had purpose beyond that led him, put him on the national stage. So even if they play ball or whatever, they have friends who are in the neighborhood, in the world. Like, lean in. Like, we all need each other. Period.
Respect. Hello and welcome back to the Know Your Rights Camp podcast. We are here in St. Louis. I'm your co-host, Sean Tory. It is wonderful to be here in St. Louis. Nothing but love. It's great. So have a great guest here by the name of Clifford Miskell Jr., a.k.a. Cbabi. My brother, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come to the podcast and be part of the camp.
Right on.
It's your first time. Have you heard of Know Your Rights Camp?
I have not heard of it. So
okay.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to get the email.
What? Surprise?
Yeah.
I heard you do great work, man. Who sent you the email?
I don't know. My wife, Amber, handles all that.
I'll say, oh, man. So shout out to the wife. You cannot see her, but shout out to the wife. So huge thank you so much. Thank you both so much for being here.
Yeah.
So what personal experiences or observations compelled you to use art as a lens to explore the over-criminalization of communities, particularly in the city of St. Louis?
I think like a lot of people here got more politicized after Mike Brown was killed.
Right.
In 2014. Mm-hmm. So before that, I had a project about Black fatherhood and painted other things. I painted some stuff even in college because I knew things existed with, the criminal system. But no, it was really, I say 2014 when that kind of entered my art more in a profound way as things really unfolded here in the city.
So can you explain more? What more work do you do here in St. Louis pertaining to art? Do you work with the youth?
I do work with the youth as far as I've been invited. I've worked at a lot of schools doing murals, sometimes with them, sometimes for them. Mm-hmm. I've done a camp here and there, worked in a summer program, but for the majority, a lot of times, my work is shared with the youth more than me working with the youth.
What's the inspiration and discipline behind your craft, right? Because of course you can be inspired, you can be motivated, but the discipline to keep going, where does that come from for you?
I think I've always wanted to be a full-time artist and didn't know how, and I think the motivation just comes from opportunities like this.
Yeah, and
just knowing that the more I put time and energy into what I want to create, I just don't know how people receive it, and an opportunity like this shows up. Kind of like sports.
Yeah.
You got to stay in the, gym, ice baths, practice, and then you don't know when the game's going to show up, but you're ready when it shows up. So that's kind of the same way we approach this. Like, I just draw all the time, whether it's for a project or just because I have to.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
And how long you been drawing?
Be almost 30 years doing it professionally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you used to play basketball or football?
No, I played basketball in the park, but never
actual official sports?
No. I tried, but it just wasn't my thing, man.
I definitely understand. So art's always been your thing. That's been the inspiration. That's been the discipline for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
So beyond the inspiration, what tangible lessons or call to action do you hope the youth here in St. Louis take away from your presentation?
I think they see that because one of my slides is a mural of Maya Angelou, and it's about
powerful.
It has a quote in there. Every bird. What does it say? Something along the lines: birds don't sing because they have the answer; they sing because they have a song.
Right.
And really, that's what it is. Like, we all have something to add, and we have something to share, and it's hard to not notice what's going on and how we play our part in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel a lot of pressure in that, but sometimes it could be just as simple as if you sing, if you paint, if you write, figure out a way to add to it. You don't have to beat people over the head with it. Just do what feels natural and just allow it to see how it falls into the overall narrative that we need. But yeah, hopefully they just see me as an example of just continue to work and, really go off on intention.
Got you.
Because that's one thing we can control is our intention. We don't really know what's going to come on the back end of it.
Right.
But even like this, me being invited to this camp, me being asked to do all the murals I've been to Selma and other places, I didn't see any of that coming. Only thing I knew is I wanted to promote Black fatherhood. I wanted to respond to what's happening in society. And because of that, I don't know who's watching me, but they can feel my intention and see the purpose. And then you find your tribe. But a lot of the time, you're going to feel alone. So opportunities like this, even all the youth being in the room together, like either on their own or somebody in their life brought them all to the space because they all have something that they share amongst one another.
Right.
That goes back on the other way. Like after that, use your voice. Who are you? What do you want people to see? Who are you? Like you control that.
Yeah.
You can't control how people treat you, but you can control your narrative of who you are. So
do you think that same thought goes into your murals and what you want the youth to see out of them? Or just people in general, but I think more importantly for the youth, because I believe that youth really gravitate to art more. So as far as they really use it as a way to see themselves free, right? To be creative, to free to creatively.
And actually, remind them to do it with that. Like that is a thing because everything's driven on being able to pay your rent. And so
that's true.
That a lot of times, a lot of us are creative, or we just have dreams of being something that we put aside in order to take care of a family that's not even here yet. So while you're young, do whatever it is that in your heart, you say you want to do,
Got you.
I mean, even here, you got an athlete that led a camp, but he also had purpose beyond that led him, put him on the national stage. So even if they play ball or whatever, they have friends who are in the neighborhood, in the world, like lean in. Like we all need each other, period.
Respect that. In what ways has literature shaped your storytelling, like your approach within art? And are there any particular works or authors that have a profound impact on your creative vision?
I love documentaries. I love children's books.
Okay.
We were invited to paint a mural up in Iowa for Nicole Hannah-Jones' 1619 project. So, of course, that book and that docuseries, informed a lot of what we do and how we move. And so, like a lot of people, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X before going to inform my wanting to go to Grambling as a student back in the day, because I was just here on Scott Air Force Base in the military.
Oh, military,
mostly non-black community.
Yeah,
and I got blessed with the opportunity to go to an all-black, historically black college, and that just changed my life. So I didn't read heavy there, but that was definitely a book that started everything. Like made me want to lean in and see who am I and what do I want to do, and that caused me to change my name. And so each day as I paint, I try to it informs more of what my name is supposed to mean.
Because I was just about to ask you that. What was that initial? Because I mentioned it in your bio, but I feel like you'll do way more justice. What was really? Did you even set a prayer before you change your name?
I wish I had. That sounds great.
I know it sounds great, but like to change your last name.
What? I have no idea. I was what, 19, 20? I was young.
Oh, you was young.
Nobody else around me even thought of that. I just say it was divine or whatever.
Yeah.
Just watching and looking and I don't even know what came in my head, but
gotcha.
I knew I took a Kiswahili class. I like how the letters, because in the English language you can't put a C and a B next to each other. Like doesn't make any sense. But not that it made sense in there, but I was like, I can make my name sound like something based on this dialect, and so I came up with Cbabi, and then I gave myself an acronym: Creative Black Artists Battling Ignorance. I didn't know what that meant then, but all my friends, the Nation of Islam, 5%ers. So,
got you.
I was going to be the art version, the art piece of that, and so that's how I leaned into my name. And then somewhere, something came in me. I don't know what happened, but I was like, I don't want to just have my kids just have dad's last name. I'll wait till, we get married and we'll pick a name together, and so. The kids will have mom and dad's last name.
That's dope.
So,
and how do you say the last name?
Bayoc.
Okay.
Bayoc, Cbabi, like everything's made up. So I never get mad when people say it wrong.
Say it wrong?
Yeah, I say wrong when they say it way differently than I presented it. Yes,
I got you. So let's dive in just a little bit into your career, right?
Yep.
So you were a character for Six Flags? You were a
Character artist, yeah.
So how was that experience like? What lessons did you learn from that?
Well, one, you had to draw every day, and you don't know who's going to sit in front of you.
Yeah.
Two, I wasn't good at it.
Oh, wow.
So nerves and everything. So you learn to fake it till you make it, or else you're not getting paid, because it's all commission based. And so if people don't like it, they got to walk off. Like, you ain't getting paid. So a lot of times, I purposely wasn't even at my desk, and nobody would sit in front of me, and I wouldn't watch the other cats draw and just watch their hands move, and then I go home and practice. Okay. And I started drawing faster. I don't think I got better, but somewhere in the mid-season, because I only did one, I kind of got a groove, and I just started telling people, like, I don't do the little funny bodies and all that. I just do neck up, which, of course, man, I didn't get everybody, but the few who would sit in front of me, I got to just do my comfort zone. But then I went home and practiced. And so, because I saw that people were in magazines, doing caricatures, but they weren't in Six Flags, they weren't sweating. They're probably in the pajamas listening to music. So I was like, I want that. So I taught myself, and then I was like, I ain't coming back to Six Flags. And I led into an illustration career, doing caricatures. And because I went to Grambling, the editor of Rap Pages was the editor of Grambling when I did cartoons. And I sent my portfolio to Alan Gordon. And, I got to do, illustration every month for the RPM section. Because I went home and taught myself how to do caricatures on canvas.
How was that like? What was that feeling like doing that for Rap? For Rap Pages.
But it was slower because not slower. Like I would get the call on a Wednesday, and I had to get that joker to FedEx by Friday. But at least I got to be at home and work on it all day. So no, it was dope. And so I did that, and then one day Chris Lighty called and was like, "Hey, why don't you do an album cover?" And Lighty. It became Violator.
Okay.
And then Phil Mob called after that, and then I did Rooted to the Tutor. And then that was kind of it on the album cover joint.
On the album cover?
But I got two good ones, yeah.
I mean, to get hit up by the legend Chris Lighty, that's powerful.
Yeah.
So then, in that vein, we talk about hip-hop now.
Right.
What role does illustration play in hip-hop?
Well, I mean, back then, I would say more. I don't look at many magazines now as I used to, but caricatures were everywhere then. And album covers, of course, all the stuff out of Atlanta, Outkast and everybody, all them historical paintings.
That's what I remember.
And D.L. Warfield did a lot of those. He's from St. Louis too, which is dope. But
that's crazy.
He went to Atlanta and blew up. But art and hip hop, it's all the same, really. Graffiti. Art is hip hop, is the black community. Is us. Yeah.
Do you see your work as activism?
I do now, yeah. I didn't then.
You didn't back then?
No, but even with the Dad Project, I looked at it, that wasn't my intention, but that's what it became. And because I put it out there and people responded and they let me know that, just the very fact that, one, that you're black, and two, that you're painting black fathers only, that's a statement. Because people don't see black men or black fathers as being present and being valuable. And so
I got 3 daughters, bro.
Right.
2 of them are here.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's the sad reality of when we go into schools, we often don't even get looked at, sadly enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be trying to talk and they kind of look through you or past you. That's a whole nother conversation, another topic day. But no, you hit it right on the nail, brother, because I definitely feel that all the time.
And
I'm an active dad.
Yeah, but not even just with us. I had a lot of white folks that walked up to me and I can remember one woman in particular. She was like, because of your project, she used to ride her bike from a neighborhood I used to live in all the way to another neighborhood library, and she took the same route every day. But she's like, because of your project, I started noticing all the dads on the corners while their kids were waiting for the school bus. She's like, but before that, I just rode by, but now I actually see them. So that's a statement. Yeah.
That's powerful. So then, with all the work you do and have done, what future projects and endeavors are you looking forward to?
Oh, we just did something with the old courthouse downtown St. Louis, which is huge because Dredd and Harry Scott and some other major, life-changing court cases, came out of there. And beyond that, we have other projects that we're working on. Other murals that are coming. We're doing more branding and animation with folks, doing something with a film organization we're talking to about, a story up north. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got some dope stuff happening.
There is a complexity of color, right, expressionism shapes emotions found in your art, right? How do you think your work will grow even more internationally?
Internationally, I don't know how it's going to play out. I just know, again, moving on intention. Like we were talking and working here in St. Louis, like one of our proudest projects is with Dr. Punch and Brick bullet-related injury clinic.
Yeah.
And, we have our art all around their clinic, but also on these boxes, these care packages that they give the patients.
Right.
To let them feel seen and feel warm. And that alone, working in conjunction with projects like that and with individuals like that, the work is going out. And so I think
Across the medical field, right?
medical field,
Right.
and I think that too may at some point go international. So I think a lot of things are going to be more in a collaborative space, which I don't always think of it, in terms of, but just like me painting, I don't think it's going to happen like that. I think it's going to be based on the projects and the communities that we come in contact with that ask for our service and ask me to paint for them or create illustrations. And like you were saying, the color and the expression, again, all that goes back to being a caricature artist, being a dad, loving children's books, looking at graffiti, again, hip hop, like all those coming together, I think help me stand out, but then also attract a bigger, wider net audience, outside of the St. Louis community. So
Beautiful.
again, I don't know how it all will fold out, but I just know we'll be taken care of, and the art will continue to spread because it's been shown, it's been proven. But yeah, my intention is always on just wanting people to be seen and be felt, and know that Black people are dope, and we live everywhere. So
That's true.
wherever we are, my work has a place.
And not just a place. We got to talk about, you have a piece of artwork that's in the place. We talk about the myth, the man, the legend. I'm talking about Prince. You have a piece of artwork in his house?
Yeah.
First of all, sir, now you got to tell me where it's at, because when my mama goes, she loves Prince, by the way. It was Prince before Michael Jackson, by the way.
Okay, nice.
So how did that come about?
So after doing the caricatures, and I want to start painting them, on canvas, and I'm gonna, do a book, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and then I had one of Russell Simmons. He came into St. Louis. Of course, what people always say, you need to let the person who you painted, let them see it, because of course they're gonna buy it. And so he's coming to this venue. I have my painting there. He comes in, he looks at it. He's like, "Oh, that's dope." But he's like, "Yeah, but I don't buy paintings of myself." And so right then and there, my brain clicked, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm done with this." And so I just wanted to start painting again, and just start painting. And so one of the things I created was a painting called Rain Keys Quintet. It's all women, a band, and then a concert's coming to town. Prince is coming to town, and he had Love for One Another tour,
Right.
which he would, each city he went to, they'd find a venue to donate groceries to.
Right.
And so Dignity House here in St. Louis, they called up. They're like, "You need to bring some artwork. Prince might come through," which people always say, but he didn't come through.
Yeah.
But two women who delivered the food, they videotaped the show, and we didn't know it. It was me and another artist. And then, like some weeks later or a month later, I can't remember what, but I got a phone call, and they were like, we showed Prince video of the work, and he wanted to know if some of these pieces were available. And so he bought 3 that first time around, and it was like Bluesman 2, Light Touch, and Serenade in the Street. And then like a year or two later, like around when my first child, my daughter, was born, got a phone call. He wants to see if you got more work.
Yeah.
So, back in the day, went back on the porch, took photos, I got a book from Walgreens, put the physical photos in there, threw it in the mail.
Right.
And then he got the call. He's like, "Okay," he saw 5 more, and one of them was that painting. And then he was like,
crazy.
And then it was Prince. So he's like, "Yeah, we don't want to call it that no more. We're going to call it Rainbow Children. So we want to buy all rights to that, and any Prince that are out there, we want to buy those too, because we don't want it to be known like that out there." So it was a Prince thing.
It's a Prince thing.
And then it became a cover. And I always say this because to
definitely
me
sounds
it's
like a Prince
important
thing. Yeah.
that I didn't do a painting for Prince, because that probably would have been a completely different experience. Whereas he bought a painting and then used it on the Rainbow Children album cover.
Okay.
So get my work international. That's one way. Like I've gotten calls from Australia, everywhere, because what do they want? They want a poster from that, and I'm like, I can't do it. And I've honored that, even though he passed. I still have never One time I painted a painting of it, but this is like 20 years later, and
Right.
you know, so. But yeah, outside of that, that's how that happened.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's the story you need to tell folks for real.
And so now when you go to Paisley Park and
Yeah.
you take the tour, the very last room you go into with his famous white piano, the painting's hanging right there over the piano before you go get food. Yeah.
Okay. No, definitely. So, Mom, make sure you pay attention to this episode so you can go find that
Yeah.
find that piece. Now, that's definitely. So, thank you so much for this episode. It was phenomenal being on the show with you, man.
Right on.
I can't wait to see the work that you do with these young folks that you're gonna
me too,
empower
man.
tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
All my good folks out there, please make sure to follow all of our social handles, Your Rights Camp, and then also follow our YouTube, Know Your Rights Camp. And if you want to make a donation, please make a donation at knowyourrightscamp.org. This is Sean Tory, your co-host, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much.